Alright, so this is going to be a quick video. I just wanted to touch on this briefly. This is a few days old now, this story. In fact, this article, which was like even a day late, I think, went up on the 27th. If you remember, I did a My Two Cents review a while ago now on the animated show Star Trek Prodigy. A show with episodic storytelling, but an undercurrent of an ongoing story that focused on an all-alien cast of Starfleet officers, or Starfleet officers in training, who had to get over problems by learning the ideals of Star Trek and applying them. The utopian, optimistic ideals of Star Trek. And it was a fun little show. And it only got better with time, I think. One of the best things about it being that it gave stuff to Catherine Janeway from Voyager to do. Janeway as Captain of Voyager was a very unevenly written character. And giving her another show with different writers who could approach her from a more consistent angle was a really positive thing for the character. Not only that, but there was the holographic Janeway that I mentioned in that My Two Cents, who was one of the main characters. She got a distinct arc from the original Janeway. She was still built on the same foundation as that character, but she went in her own direction, became a huge part of the plot, and even got to do some really heroic stuff at the end. And she ended up being one of my favorite characters in the entire show. It also delved into more Star Trek lore than I ever expected that it would. It ended up being a really solid show for the one season that's out so far. The second season has been in production for a while. And as you can see from the image I've got up here, it's been removed from Paramount Plus. As of this article, I don't think it had been yet, but it has been now. At least that's what I've read. And the show's been canceled. The second season is still done, or about done. It says here that Paramount has confirmed that the work on the 20-episode second season will continue. And the studio is looking for a new home for the show. It's streaming, but this comes as part of a purge that Paramount Plus did when they integrated Showtime in the US. And they're saying it was to refine their content to deliver the best experience to subscribers, but really it was clearly a tax write-off. They clearly did this as a tax write-off, and there's a whole list of shows that have been removed, and I recommend going and looking up what's on that list and see if it's any of the shows that you enjoyed, because there are fan efforts ongoing right now to save a whole bunch of them. In fact, there's a change.org, and there's the link to it there. This is trekmovie.com if you guys want to go check out this article yourselves. There's a hashtag, obviously. There's a hashtag for everything. That's not a surprise. But there's a change.org. I signed it. It's very close to reaching its next goal. I'm excited for them to save the show. It's very unlikely, though. And there's products you can buy. There's toys, which actually, let's look at this. I haven't looked at the toys for a while. Yeah, these are good. These are good looking toys. Janeway's sold out because that's actually just a solid, a solid generic Janeway figure. But these are good looking toys. They look good. Yeah, I'd buy these if I'd ever seen them at retail. I've never seen them at retail, which sucks. There's toys. There's the Season 1 Blu-ray. You can get, I think it's only the first 10 episodes. But you can buy them on Apple TV or Amazon. And you can try to vote with your wallet, as they say. It's unlikely, though, at this point, if Paramount is going to pick the show back up and return it to Paramount Plus, either or, because this feels like the kind of thing that they spent a lot of time deciding, right? Like, I don't think they would have done this unless they were 100% sure it was the direction they wanted to go. And it's ridiculous. The show definitely had lower viewership than a lot of the other Star Trek shows that they've been putting out lately, but I think this show is solidly better than the first 2 seasons of Discovery, the first 2 seasons of Picard, and in my opinion at least, I understand I'm in the minority on this, but the entirety so far of Star Trek Lower Decks. It was definitely more kid-oriented, and it definitely aped a lot of its style from something like Clone Wars, which made it feel in some ways less Star Trek than some of these other Star Trek shows. But I do say some, because the first season of Discovery in particular did not feel like a Star Trek show at all. This has always at least had undertones of Star Trek to it, and has been driven, as I mentioned before, the entire time by the exploration of the ideals put forth by Star Trek as a franchise. And we needed a show like this. Even the 3rd season of Picard, which was excellent, it was an excellent season of what was otherwise a very mediocre show, was as much about challenging the ideals that Star Trek puts forth as it was celebrating them. This was a show celebrating them, and god dang it, if they don't manage to get the 2nd season up anywhere, I'm not going to get to see what the Voyager A looks like, and I'm really mad about that, because Voyager is like one of my favorite ships in the entire franchise. And we know there's a Voyager B. We saw that in Picard. It's a Pathfinder class ship from Star Trek Online. I want to know what class the Voyager A is. I'm very curious about that, and I want to see the god dang thing. That was going to be the premise of the 2nd season. They were going to be the cast of this show was going to be on the crew of Janeway on the USS Voyager A while they searched for Chakotay. And that sounded great. Getting more focus on the real Janeway sounded excellent with this team of writers, because they're good writers. Really solid, and they seem to really understand what they're doing. Like, I'm not going to say that this has left me depressed or anything, this news, but it's extremely disappointing. And yeah, considering that it was done for absolutely no good reason, just, it's icing on the cake of disappointment. And especially considering some of the shows that they're adding and some of the shows that they're, still producing, new shows. I'm not gonna list them because that's unfair to the people working on them to hate on them directly. But I just don't think they're as noteworthy or as relevant as something like Prodigy was. It's a real bummer. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on that, I guess. That's really all I wanted to say. I just wanted to bitch about it a little bit and let you guys know what you can do to, if not show Paramount that we want the show back hard enough that they'll actually give it back to us. Yeah, iTunes, Apple, Amazon Prime, yeah. Okay. Yeah, Amazon has, you can purchase all 20 episodes of the first season, but you can only see 10 right now. The rest of them are going to become available later. Yeah. that's funny. If you know, you know. Yeah, just, if not Paramount, because I doubt Paramount's going to listen at this point, then to tell other networks that might pick this up and continue it, or at the very least show the 2nd season, because it's so close to being done. Show them that we want this show. Right? Even if you haven't watched the show yet, if you agree with me that this kind of thing has its place and has its importance, then there's no harm in signing the Change.org petition at the very least, right? But if you have watched the show and you have enjoyed it, and you have a little bit of extra cash to throw around, like, go pick up the first 10 episodes on Amazon or something. Or, I mean, I hate Amazon, you guys know that. But, like, I don't know, or pick up the Blu-ray, right? Just show some concern for the state of the thing. It's really all we can do at this point. Such a shame. Like, they're releasing a movie about frickin' Section 31, which is, I guess you could argue that it's a covert branch of Starfleet, if you guys didn't know. Extremely underhanded. And I guess you could argue something like that is necessary in a universe like Star Trek's, but at the same time, Star Trek is supposed to be about optimism. So shouldn't we be telling the story of a future where that kind of thing isn't needed anymore? I don't know. It bums me out that they're choosing something like that over something like this. That's just so positive and fun. It's just fun. Like the first couple seasons of Discovery, regardless of what you think of them, they're not fun. They might be intriguing, but they're not fun. This was fun. It's just such a shame to lose. But yeah, I'm rambling. Of course I'm rambling. I'm always rambling these days. Yeah, look into this if you have any interest at all, is all I'm asking. But yeah, that's been my 2 cents on the cancellation and removal of Star Trek Prodigy from Paramount Plus. What do you think of this whole situation, regardless of, you know, how invested you are in the show itself? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below. While you're down there, you might as well like the video, share it with anyone else you think would enjoy my content, subscribe if you haven't. You can also check out links to my various social media as well as many videos you can have with the channel. Those will be in the video description. But either way, this has been AJ22, and I will talk to you guys later.